Hello, this is Dr. Ayenshola Ogundele, Astronautics for Exploit. Solar energy and its emerging technologies. The focus points of my presentation are as follows: solar energy and solar energy emerging technologies. The early development of solar energies, driven by the expectation that coal will soon become scarce based on the surge of its use during Industrial Revolution era, is dated back to the 1860s. A reorganization of energy policies that took place throughout the world because of oil embargo of 1973 and energy crisis of 1979 led to the astronomical interest and attention for the development of state-of-the-art solar technologies. Solar energy, radiant light, and heat from the sun harnessed using a range of technologies to generate electricity has been predicted to make a very significant and considerable contributions towards solving world problems needing urgent attention. Presently, the revolution of clean energy, such as solar energy, is taking place around the world. Report findings show that clean energy industry is generating hundreds of billions of dollars of economic activity, and the growth is expected to continue at an enormous rate. Day by day, a tremendous economic and job opportunities are opening in solar energy industry. Solar energy companies are investing in various solar energy emerging technologies in order to meet up with the increasing demand. Some of the emerging technologies are concentrated solar power, floating solar arrays and solar canals, perovskite solar cells, solar-assisted heat pump, solar aircraft, solar hybrid systems, and a host of others. Concentrated solar power, which is also known as concentrated solar thermal systems, generates solar power by using mirrors or lenses to concentrate a large area of sunlight onto a receiver. Floating solar arrays and solar canals are PV systems that float on or are built over the surface of drinking water reservoirs, quarry lakes, irrigation canals, or remediation and tailing ponds. A solar-assisted heat pump is a machine that represents the integration of a heat pump and thermal solar panels in a single integrated system. Solar energy. Solar energy is radiant light and heat from the sun, which is harnessed using a range of solar power technologies. Solar energy is a powerful source of energy that can be used to heat, cool, and light homes and businesses. The picture here shows solar panels at farm park designed to produce about 20% of the farm's energy. A usable energy generated from the sun in the form of electric or thermal energy is reversed to as solar power. Capturing of solar energy. Solar energy is captured in a variety of ways. For example, via a photovoltaic solar panel system that converts the sun's rays into usable electricity. The picture here shows solar farm for the generation of solar energy. Thermal applications. Solar energy is commonly used in thermal applications to heat indoor spaces or fluids. Residential and commercial property owners can install solar hot water systems and design their buildings with passive solar heating in mind to fully take advantage of the sun's energy with solar technology. The picture here shows the Sutter Greenworks solar site in Caverton. Solar energy emerging technologies. There are various solar energy emerging technologies that have been developed and that are still being developed. Some of them are concentrated solar power, floating solar arrays and solar canals, perovskite solar cells, solar-assisted heat pump, solar aircraft, and solar hybrid systems. Each of these emerging technologies is explained as follows. Concentrated solar power. Concentrated solar power, which is also known as concentrated solar thermal systems, generates solar power by using mirrors or lenses so as to concentrate a large area of sunlight onto a receiver. Electricity is generated when the concentrated light is converted to heat, that is, solar thermal energy, which drives a heat engine, usually a steam turbine, connected to an electrical power generator or powers a thermochemical reaction. The picture here shows concentrated solar plant. Concentrated solar power had a global total installed capacity of about 6,800 megawatts in 2021, which is an increment from 354 megawatts obtained in 2005. Spain accounted for almost one-third of the world's capacity at 2,300 megawatts. The picture here shows Gemazola concentrated solar power plant. Spain accounted for almost one-third of the world's capacity at 2,300 megawatts, and the concentrated solar power projects, even Power Solar Power Facility, about 392 megawatts in the US, uses solar power tower technology without thermal energy storage. The picture here shows illustration of concentrated solar heat. The parabolic trough, that is the compound linear Fresnel reflector, the dish sterling, and the solar power tower are some of the current concentrated solar power technologies. Various techniques are used to track the sun and focus light. In all of these systems, a working fluid is heated by the concentrated sunlight and is then used for power generation or energy storage. Thermal storage efficiently allows up to 24-hour electricity generation. The picture here shows 200 megawatt-hour concentrated solar power plant. Parabolic trough consists of a linear parabolic reflector that concentrates light onto a receiver positioned along the reflector's focal line. The reflector follows the sun during the daylight hours by tracking along a single axis. Compact linear reflectors are concentrated solar power plants which use many thin and cheap mirror strips instead of parabolic mirrors to concentrate sunlight onto two tubes with working fluid. The picture here shows large parabolic aperture trough. Sterling solar dish is another emerging technology of concentrated solar power. The Sterling solar dish combines a parabolic concentrating dish with a Sterling engine, which normally drives an electric generator. The Sterling solar has higher efficiency of converting sunlight into electricity and longer lifetime than photovoltaic cells. Parabolic dish systems give the highest efficiency among concentrated solar power emerging technologies. The picture here shows Maricopa solar power dish plant. Solar power tower is another concentrated solar power technology. It uses an array of tracking reflectors, referred to as heliostats, to concentrate light onto a central receiver atop a tower. Power towers can achieve higher thermal to electricity conversion efficiency than linear tracking schemes and better energy storage capability than these Sterling technologies. The PS10 solar power plant and PS20 solar power plant are examples of this emerging technology. The picture here shows illustration of solar power towers. Floating solar arrays and solar canals is another emerging solar energy technologies. Floating solar arrays and solar canals are PV systems that float on or are built over the surface of drinking water reservoirs, quarry lakes, irrigation, canals, or remediation and tailing ponds. Floating solar arrays and solar canals exist in France, India, Japan, South Korea, UK, Singapore, and the United States. The picture here shows artist rendering of a solar canal system. Photovoltaics. Floating solar or floating photovoltaics, sometimes referred to as photovoltaics, is solar panels mounted on a structure that floats on a body of water, typically a reservoir or a lake. Advantages over photovoltaics. The systems are said to have advantages over photovoltaics on land. The cost of land is more expensive, and there are fewer rules and regulations for structures that are built on bodies of water not used for recreation. The picture here shows largest hydro-floating solar hybrid system in Thailand. Floating arrays. Unlike most land-based solar plants, floating arrays can be unobstructive because they are hidden from public view. They achieve higher efficiencies than PV panels on land because water cools the panels. The panels have a special coating to prevent rust or corrosion. In May 2008, the financial winery in Oakville, California, pioneered the world's first photovoltaic system by installing 994 solar PV modules with a total capacity of 477 kilowatts onto 130 pontoons and floating them on the winery's irrigation pond. This picture shows Far-Niente Vineyard in Napa Valley. Perovskite solar cells is another emerging technologies of solar energy. A perovskite solar cell is a type of solar cell that includes a perovskite structured compound, most commonly a hybrid organic-inorganic lead or tin alloy-based material as the light harvesting active layer. Perovskite materials such as methylammonium, lead, halides, and all inorganic cesium lead halide are cheap to produce and simple to manufacture. The picture here shows perovskite solar cells. The raw materials used in PSC and the possible fabrication methods are both low cost. Their high absorption coefficient enables ultra-thin beams of around 500 nanometers to absorb the complete visible solar spectrum. Perovskite solar cells are found used in powering prototypes of low-power wireless electronics for ambient-powered Internet of Things applications and may help to mitigate climate change. The picture here shows perovskite solar cells. Solar-assisted heat pump is another emerging technology of solar energy. A solar-assisted heat pump is a machine that represents the integration of a heat pump and thermal solar panels in a single integrated system. The solar thermal panel performs the function of low-temperature heat source, and the heat produced is used to fill the heat pump's evaporator. The goal of this system is to get high COP and then produce energy in a more efficient and less expensive way. The picture here shows solar-assisted heat pump. Any type of solar thermal panel, sheets or tubes, roll bond, heat pipe, thermal plates, or hybrid in combination with the heat pump can be used. The use of a hybrid panel is preferable because it allows covering a part of the electricity demand of the heat pump and reduce the power consumption and consequently the variable cost of the system. The picture here shows hybrid photovoltaic thermal solar panels. Solar aircraft is another example of emerging technology. An electric aircraft is an aircraft that runs on electric motors rather than internal combustion engines, with electricity coming from fuel cells, solar cells, autocapacitors, power beaming, or batteries. Currently, flying manned electric aircraft are mostly experimental demonstrators, though many small unmanned aerial vehicles are powered by batteries. Electrically powered modern aircraft have been flown since 1970s. The picture here shows Solar Impulse 2. The first man-carrying electrically powered flights were made in 1973. Between 2015 and 2016, a manned solar-powered plane, Solar Impulse 2, completed its second navigation of the Earth. Solar Impulse is a Swiss long-range experimental solar-powered aircraft project. It was a privately financed project. The picture here shows Solar Impulse landing at Brussels Airport. Solar hybrid system is another emerging technology. A hybrid system combines photovoltaic systems and concentrated solar power with one another or with other forms of generation, such as diesel, wind, and biogas. The combined form of generation may enable the system to modulate power output as a function of demand or at least reduce the fluctuating nature of solar power and the consumption of non-renewable fuel. Hybrid systems are most often found on islands. The picture here shows wind and solar hybrid system. A novel solar CPV and CSP hybrid system has been proposed, combining concentrated photovoltaics with the non-PV technology of concentrated solar power, or also known as concentrated solar thermal. The picture here shows concentrated solar power plants. Integrated solar combined cycle system is another example of emerging technology of solar hybrid system. The Asi Power Station in Nigeria is an example of combining CSP with a gas turbine where a 25 megawatt parabolic trough array supplements a much larger 130 megawatt combined cycle gas turbine plant. Another example is the Yazd Power Station. The picture here shows Solar Impulse landing at Brussels. It shows the solar panels that are being used for the electricity generation. Concentrated photovoltaics and thermal is another solar hybrid system. A concentrated photovoltaic thermal hybrid system is similar to a PV system. It uses concentrated photovoltaics instead of conventional PV technology and combines it with a solar thermal collector. PV diesel system combines a photovoltaic system with a diesel generator. Combinations with other renewables are possible and include wind turbines. The picture here shows concentrated photovoltaics models on dual-axis solar trackers. For more information, contact Astronautics for Exploit. You've been watching and listening to Solar Energy and its Emerging Technologies, presented by Dr. Ayenshola Ogundele, Astronautics for Exploit, with the focus points solar energy and solar energy emerging technologies. Thank you.